Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to talk about Ash's team in Pokemon Journeys and whether I think he'll end up rotating his Pokemon around or not. Over the span of the anime, Ash has only rotated his Pokemon on some occasions but not frequently. So it'll be interesting to see if he will obtain more than 6 Pokemon in this series or even bring back some old ones. And I just wanted to talk about his general Pokemon Journeys team development and what I think is going to happen in the future. So I hope you enjoy this video. So as Pokemon Journeys started, we all wondered what Ash's first Pokemon would be. It took him all the way up to episode 10 to finally catch a Pokemon, being Dragonite. This is the longest of any series that it took Ash to capture a Pokemon. So straight away we could tell this series is going to mix things up a lot. As the episodes went on, we saw more from Ash, more battles, a solid goal to work towards, and a lot more development compared to the first 10 episodes. And in that time he caught Dragonite, Gengar, Riolu, and now Farfetch. So his team is already made up of 5 Pokemon as of episode 27, and if you include Mimey, you could say he had a full team of 6, but personally I don't. So Ash went from starting out really slowly to gaining a team really quickly. Compared to the previous 2 series, X and Y and Sun and Moon, he has been capturing Pokemon really quick. It reminds me of the original series and even of Black and White. So the way the series is going, Ash might well end up rotating his Pokemon around, if he keeps on catching Pokemon that is. With the series being so heavily focused on capturing Pokemon, and Go's goal of capturing every single Pokemon on his way to Mew, it'll be hard to believe that Ash isn't going to capture any more Pokemon for the rest of the series, which would have way over 100 episodes to go. It seems that Ash is going to be focusing on Riolu a lot in this series and its aura bond with Ash, which I really love, and with the addition of Farfetch it looks like they'll have a nice little training partnership going on to push each other and maybe even evolve one day. This leaves Gengar and Dragonite, 2 really strong and powerful Kanto Pokemon. They aren't just going to be sitting around, they're going to be racking up Ash some big wins like we've seen them both do in both Vermilion Gym and against Krina. Ash's team is really balancing itself out and looking like one of the strongest we've ever had. I'm really hoping for some 3-on-3 battles and maybe even some 4-on-4 so we can really get to see Ash's full team shine. My hope is that Riolu doesn't take all the spotlight away from other Pokemon like Gengar and Dragonite. My example would be the XY series and Greninja. Greninja was heavily focused on in X, Y and Z and the bond phenomenon. I love the gimmick, but it did take some shine away from underrated other members of his Kalos team. So the main question everyone has is, will Ash rotate his team? My opinion is yes. There's so much of the series left to go, and with the exploration of the Pokemon world, we are bound to see a lot of Pokemon appear, and it seems they want to show off every single Pokemon in this anime. And what a better way of giving older Pokemon spotlight than to give it to Ash. It's really going to be tough for Ash to rotate his team with such powerhouses on it already. Both the instances when we're seeing rotation in the original series and in Black and White, they've both been executed poorly. The Pokemon didn't get much spotlight, we went back to relying on his aces and the others were just kind of forgotten about at the lab. Rest in peace Palpitoad. We're even seeing already all the Pokemon that Go has caught are kind of just sitting there doing nothing. I know Go has a ridiculous amount of Pokemon, but it's so hard for the writers to give time and development for each Pokemon that these 2 capture. Especially as Go is the joint protagonist with Ash, he will share the screen time and development. The writers have the impossible task of giving Go and Ash equal development and making sure every one of their Pokemon gets the development too, which in Go's case would be really unachievable. However, my answer is still yes. I still believe that Ash will rotate his team, but I don't think he'll catch as many Pokemon as he did in Black and White, where he caught 9 Pokemon. With the addition of Pikachu and Charizard, that made 11 Pokemon that he used in that series. I think it'll be more like the Kanto region. He had his main team consisting of Pikachu and the starters, and then he had Muk, Tauros and Kingler for backup. There wasn't too many Pokemon to try and get on the screen, although they still managed to do a poor job of rotating. If they slowly bring in some more Pokemon for Ash as the series goes on, and have him swapping them out from time to time would make the perfect balance. Also, he's not restricted to being with 6 Pokemon at a time like in the previous series, because his home base is the lab, where he can keep all of his Pokemon there at once, and whenever he sets out on an adventure, he can decide which Pokemon he's going to take and which Pokemon suit the specific trip. So Ash could start catching a lot more Pokemon. At the minute he has 4 Pokemon if we don't include Pikachu, and he also has Mimey, which can be called upon whenever because it's at the lab as well. So we could realistically be looking at maybe another 3 or 4 Pokemon captures. So here is a list of Pokemon I think Ash could capture in Pokemon Journeys. Ash already has 4 Kanto Pokemon at Cerise's lab available to him, so I really don't think there'll be any more Kanto additions. It would be 5 if you include Farfetch, but as it's a Galarian form, we'll class it as a Galar Pokemon. Ash currently has no Johto Pokemon on his team, so he's bound to get one at some point. My number 1 pick for Johto would have to be Espeon. Ash could get an EV, train it up, and eventually evolve it into Espeon. It would be a way for Ash to finally get an evolution, and everyone has wanted Ash to get an Espeon for a long time. My second pick would be a Tyranitar, and of course he's had a bond with a Larvitar before, so this would be a nice choice. Next up is the Hoenn region. Ash currently has no Pokemon from there either. My first pick for Hoenn would be an Absol. Absol is such a cool and mysterious Pokemon, and is one of my personal favourites if you didn't notice. It would be a unique choice for Ash to have one, and another dark type for Ash's roster. But the second pick is a little bit far-fetched, but it would be a Latias. It would just be cool for him to have one, and they shared a little connection back in the 4th movie. Ash has Riolu, which would be his ace for the team that covers off Sinnoh, so I don't think he needs any other Sinnoh Pokemon. So we jump to Unova, and there's quite a few cool Pokemon I could see Ash owning. First up, I want to talk about both his Boldore and his Palpitoad. They evolve into some powerful Pokemon being Gigalith and Seismitoad. I can really see Ash bringing both of these Pokemon back and having one of them evolve. It would be a great way to bring Spotlight back to an older Pokemon, similar to how he did it with Cyndaquil in Diamond and Pearl. Another Pokemon from Unova I could see Ash owning is Darmanitan. Not the Unova one, but the Galarian form. It will be similar to how Go owns Farfetch and Ash owns a Galarian Farfetch. Because Go owns the normal Darmanitan already, it also is a powerhouse in battle and is broken in the games. And it will be a new typing of Ice on Ash's team. I could also see some funny moments with the 2 Darmanitan and the lab. My last Unova honourable mention would be Chandelure because of the fact it's an awesome Pokemon and I'd love to see it. Ash is a ghost type already but still no fire type, so it's a possibility. The Kalos region doesn't have many standout Pokemon that I would like Ash to obtain. I would say Aegislash because it's an awesome Pokemon, but I think there's a good chance Leon will have one in his team for Ash's 6-on-6 final battle. The 2 Pokemon that I would suggest are Tyrantrum because it'd be cool to see Ash own a fossil Pokemon, and Trevenant just because it's one of my personal favourites and seeing Ash use it with its wacky strategies would be cool. So that brings us to the Alola region, the region that he is the champion of. Honestly, his Alola team was perfect and I wouldn't want him to obtain any more Pokemon from Alola, but if I had to pick it would be either Dhelmise or a Golisopod. And obviously I'd want his returning Pokemon to come back from Alola, including his Lycanroc who has appeared in the end card of Pokemon Journeys. So the Galar region is obviously the newest region and the one we expected Ash to actually capture the most Pokemon from, but that's not been the way the series is going. First of all, I'm going to throw Grookey out there and say I think Ash will definitely capture this. Well, this is what we thought about Sobble, so we never know. But I think Ash will get this. It's the last remaining Galar starter, and it would be the first time Ash didn't obtain a starter if he didn't get it. It was also in the ending credits with Riolu's egg and Dust Lycanroc, so that shows more indication that he will get it. As far as the other Galar Pokemon go, I'm not too sure what will happen. I think there's a chance he could get a Corviknight due to a lot of merch and scans that have been showing up, but personally I'd like him to get a Toxtricity and then maybe even a Cubfu. There's a lot of Pokemon that I've just spoken about, and of course he's not going to catch them all. He might not even catch any of these. It'll be interesting to look back at the end of Pokemon Journeys and see if he did. But for the series I think he'll get from 6 to 8 Pokemon, hopefully with the right amount of development for each of them. It'll be a well-rounded and balanced team. And I haven't even spoke about the prospect of his old Pokemon returning, which could be a massive part of the series, as it looks like it could well be the final series of Ash's story. Probably not, but it could be, who knows. And if it was, then you think the writers would bring back all of his old Pokemon to celebrate the final journey and his final goal. Imagine we saw each of them return just for one battle or one moment. It would be tough to pull off, but it would be great for us fans to watch. Please let me know in the comments. Firstly, do you think Ash will rotate his team in Pokemon Journeys? And how many Pokemon do you think he'll capture in the series? Secondly, what Pokemon do you want him to capture? And lastly, will we see any of his old Pokemon return to make an impact? I'm hoping we get all of these things happen, and they are done in a very balanced and perfect way. But please let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. It means the world to me, something I thought I'd never achieve. Please let me know what type of videos you want to see me make in the future. Please like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and I'll see you next time.